What's up, babes? It's Carlisa Victoria. I am back with another video. I know it seems like I've done a lot of car videos today, which I have, I'm not gonna lie. But in this video, I just really wanted to talk about sorry, that's gonna bother me if it keeps on dingling. I can't stop it, no. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to get on here and talk about some topics today. Well, really about manifesting and becoming everything that you dreamed of and everything that you want. So long story short, you know, you're going to have people in your life. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. My name is Carlisa Victoria. I literally am excited to have you guys on my channel. On my channel, we talk about beauty, fashion, business, luxury, lifestyle, real estate, manifesting, law of attraction, travels, vlogs, hauls, try on hauls, anything, you name it, we pretty much talk about it on my channel. So today we're just talking about the power of manifesting and speaking life over yourself, because people don't understand that you have the ability to speak life over yourself. You have the ability to become all that you desire. You have the ability to become the better version of yourself, regardless of what anybody says of you, regardless of the many people who say, oh girl, you reaching, that's never gonna happen, or oh girl, that's just impossible, or oh girl, that's just don't you think that you thinking too deep, or oh girl, because trust and believe, the people who tell you that you're thinking too deep, the people who tell you that you're thinking too hard, you're thinking too X, Y, and Z, these same people are going to be the people who are going to want to surround you when you're becoming successful. They're going to be the same people who want to be there, do everything, and grace and douse and all of that when it's time for you to be successful. Be vigilant. Watch for the people who don't support you when you're down, when your content gets 0 likes, 0 subscribers. See who supports your brands and your businesses, because in the end of the day, they're not going to support you when you got 1 follower, 1 comment, 1 like. They're not going to support you when your brand is selling fashionable clothing that looks exactly like the brands that they don't even know the designers and the business owners and things. Because trust and believe, people will watch your story all day on your social media. People will watch your media all day, not support a thing, but will go and be under celebrity comments. Never even met them before, all in their comment section like they besties. They literally will be going to buy and support brands, clothing, and thing like that from people who they don't know, but you'll be sitting right next to them and they won't support a thing. But the minute that you become successful and you go from that 10 people following your pages to 1 million, because you've been consistent and you've been disciplined and you've been successful and you've been just doing all these things, now it's gonna be, oh, my homegirl, oh, my sis. Like, don't call me sis, don't call me homegirl. And this is not like me feeling salty or anything like this. I'm speaking from a realistic standpoint, but I'm also speaking hypothetically and kind of like also letting you guys know this is what happens in business. Now, because I am a person who understand things in business, I understand that statistics show that the most of your supporters are going to be people who you don't know. Most of your supporters are going to be people who you have never met from Adam or Eve. The people who you know are going to be people who will sit there and look at everything that you got. They will look at everything that you do and still wouldn't support not one thing on your channel, not even give you a word of advice or encouragement. These are people who you literally have to watch for, because in the end of the day, you don't want to keep, you know, if you keep your grass cut low, you'll be able to see the snakes. But when you got that high grass, you got those high bushes, you'll have all the snakes in the grass and won't even be able to see them. So keep your grass cut low. I was talking to my sister this week about motivation, because you guys know I listen to motivation every day. And there's a speaker who said, parents, basically, it's not what you leave to your kids, it's what you leave in them that's going to make all of the difference. So make sure that when you're thinking about legacy, you're thinking about life, make sure you leave these types of motivational speakings and you leave this type of energy and encouragement and financial literacy to your kids. This is what you leave in them. Leave something in them that's going to teach them loyalty, Teach them manners, teach them ethics, teach them how to be a good person with good character, morals, values, standards. Teach them those things, because in the end of the day, you can leave them with material things and that will never do a thing for them. Maybe temporarily, but it would do no good to their soul, y'all. So make sure that you are building the dream life that you want for you, but also for your future. I have no kids of my own. I am a boy auntie. So I have 3 beautiful nephews, and I am so proud of that. You never think that you will get to a point in life where you would be able to appreciate being an auntie so much. You just don't know that you're going to ever experience that until you experience that. It's almost like, well, geez, if you can have this much love for your nephews and feel like this as an auntie, imagine when you have your own kids. So imagine all of this energy and all of why I do what I do, partly being a part of my big why is these nephews. And wanting to make sure I leave legacy, financial literacy, these types of principles and different things like to them as well. Like, yes, their parents are going to instill within them certain principles and practices, but as an auntie, you do your part too, because it takes a village. Now, a lot of people think that expression, it takes a village to raise a child, means that it takes that only that household. No, it takes more than that. And sometimes there'll be people who household hasn't taught them a thing, but the people around them who supported them and lifted them up is what kept them. So make sure that in everything that you do it for the right reasons. Have character, have standards, have morals. Because I've always said, people ask me, we used to have the conversation. I said, I could be a lot further in business right now had I said yes to the things that my character would have said no. So, yeah, I've had opportunities to be my most successful self. Yes, I've had opportunities, that could float your way right on up the ladder without you having worked hard. But I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to do things that I'm supposed to do to be successful. And I'm not going to just do any and everything to skate my way to the top. If that's you, each his own. But I've always worked bottom up, ground up, hardworking. I'm not going to do anything that's going to just float me right past the crowd because I'm willing to jeopardize my standards. And I know this video might be going everywhere, but what I'm trying to tell you, sis, is stay motivated, stay grounded, grow where you're planted, because in the end of the day, Rome wasn't built in a day. So yes, it's going to take time. Yes, you're going to have to do more to become more. But in the end of the day, all you have in this world is going to be the principles and foundation in which you stand on. Yourself. You know what I mean? Because you could say, oh, I have X, Y, and Z in my life. I have X, Y, and Z in my... But in the end of the day, baby, it's going to be what you bring to the table. It's going to be what foundations and principles and ethics and things that you're standing on and leaning on. So when I look at all of my jobs that I've had in the past, and I look at like, what was the reason that this didn't work out? And I've gone back and I said, well, this was the da-da-da-da. I'm not saying there's not always ways in which you can improve upon, but I challenge you to write out all of the jobs you can think about having. Write them all out. Write out the good things about that job and write out the things that were not so good and write out the things in which you wanted to leave. For me, it's like, for example, my first job was McDonald's. I worked at a McDonald's in college. And my freshman year in college, once I got off curfew, because we had curfew in college. Once I got off of curfew, I got me a job. I got actually a couple jobs. I had like 3 jobs once we got off of college curfew for freshman year. And I literally went to go buy me a townhouse. Well, I had me a townhouse. I literally had my little car. I had met this guy who, first I had met this woman whose son had a car in high school who barely drove the car, and I think it was a boy. Yeah, he barely drove the car at all. The car was really good, top shape, and it was I had a Jetta, but I only had it for a few days and like literally less than a month, and I sold it to my friend. I didn't even get it good enough. And then my very first car, and I call it my first car because that car I don't consider my first car because it is, but I didn't keep it less than a month. So then, longer than less than a month. So then I got a Mercedes, and this Mercedes I got was from a gentleman who lost feeling in his legs, and he had BMW trucks, Mercedes. He was financially wealthy. He literally had the cat off the movies, the safe in the house, the 2 miles to get to his driveway, the whole shebang. And right when I got the car from him, I figured out, why are you selling the car and why is it at this price and X, Y, and Z? Because it looked perfectly like great condition. He was like, I'm losing feeling in my legs. I can't drive anymore, blah, blah, blah. Me and my friend go to his house together. You know, I went with my guy friend because, you know, you just don't know what's going on. And turns out to be a really sweet deal, really sweet man, really sweet family. It's just, that was the situation. But in those moments, I decided I'm going to do better for myself. So I got my townhouse, I got my car, and I really worked hard. But you know what I had to go off of? I went off of my ethics. I went off of my hard work. I went off of the principles and values that I had. That is what really got me a lot of places. But anyway, to back it up, when I got the job at the McDonald's, I remember getting it, and I worked there throughout college, like throughout my whole college. And when I worked at that job, I thought, okay, I like it here because I like the people. I had really good atmosphere. To this day, I still sometimes talk to some of the people who used to work there. So I like the people. What I did not, a portion that I did not like was the pay, obviously, but I was in college. So of course you want more money. And then also the amount of labor that you will exert for the amount of pay. So I already knew that I was the type of person who recognized and knew my worth. And this was before I even worked there. I already knew these things. But because I could recognize that, I knew that I was worth far more than what I was being paid for, I didn't necessarily walk away, because there were principles, there were practices, there were things that I needed to learn and that I felt like that I could develop by simply working at the job. So I worked at that job, learned some principles, learned some values. Not to say that I didn't bring my own, but I learned some ethics that was going to carry with me throughout me working. So, and throughout my life. So, like I said, I appreciated the simple fact that I learned some things, but I already knew in the back of my mind that I'm going to be built for greater things. My dollar amount is going to have to be worth, my ethic is going to have to be worth my ability to bring what I bring to the table as an asset. So as time went on, I ended up working at a McDonald's when I moved back home from college while I was trying to get a job within my field. And when I worked in that job, I literally started to get put on all-star teams. So the district and the corporate kept on coming to the store to check inventory and check on the employees. And they said, we want to put you on the all-star team. They brought me aside, set me aside, talked to me, gave me all these coupons, gave me these badges, and said, we need to talk to you because you're outstanding. We want to put you on the all-star team, where basically all of the McDonald's within the different areas, the franchises, pick the best people who work in their stores, the best, and put them on an all-star team, and they compete against other McDonald's for times against cash registers and different things. And I know some people are like, okay, it's not all that serious, but it is. When corporate people come and they already know your name and you don't even know them, and they already want to put you on a team. And that's how it's been in like a lot of my jobs. Corporate will know my name. You know what I mean? The CEO knowing my name when I sell cars. McDonald's corporate knowing my name when I sold at McDonald's. You know, it's just different. Corporate, when I worked at a different job, corporate already knew my name. Their family knew my name and I didn't know them. So your name is in rooms that you didn't even know existed. Your name is in rooms that you haven't even used the key to unlock the door yet. So if there is one thing that you're going to be willing to bet on, make sure it is yourself, and make sure that it is your best self in everything that you do, and you're going to be successful. So I know this video went a little bit longer, but I just want to encourage you guys to always do and be the best you, because in the end of the day, you're going to get further for it. You're going to be grateful. And that's your power, being you. So I think I'm going to start shooting more car vlog chronicles like I used to, because I want to be able to do motivation straight from the car. Because sometimes I pull over and I will literally have these conversations and, you know, just talk to y'all. And I think that more people can use a lot of this because it's straight motivation. You know what I mean? And I'm motivated sometimes by the speech that I even give y'all. And it's off the cuff. It's not, that's why it's a little bit random, because it's off the cuff. I didn't plan for the content per se in the video, but I knew that I was going to sit here and just talk to y'all right now. So I'm going to get back in the house. I didn't imagine I was going to be going this long. I'm going to get back in the house. I got things to work on. But I will see you guys later. The neighbors are starting to come out and they've all been staring at me. So I'm going to get out the car and not try to be awkward. But I'll see y'all later.